Good morning, everyone. It's Emily here, and it's time for another Segue Magic. And today we are talking about our favorite fictional mothers because tomorrow is Mother's Day. So I actually have a whole kind of a pile of fictional mothers that I really like. It was hard to find good fictional mothers, as some of you have already said. I know Kirsty and Maya already talked about how, it's really hard to find good parents in pop culture because of a lot of different variables that they've already talked about. But once I started finding them, I was like, oh, there's some that I like. So that's cool. Let's get started. So the first one is, of course, Molly Weasley and Lily Potter from the Harry Potter series, which you guys have already talked about. So I'm not going to get into it because we all know that Molly and Lily are kind of awesome. The next one I actually want to talk about is Finn's mom from Glee. She's pretty freaking fantastic. She had to raise Finn on her own, and she is so supportive of him and takes care of him and all of the other members of the Glee Club in a way. And she's kind of like the only really good mother figure in this TV show, and she was a pretty awesome one. So I had to give Glee a little shout out for the times they did have good parents. I also really loved the mom from The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. She is a woman who was running a boarding house, or maybe it was more like a nursing. I think it was more like a nursing home, and she found baby Benjamin Button on her doorstep, and he was this old man baby, because if you're not familiar with this movie, it's about someone who grows backwards. So when Benjamin Button was born, he was like an old man, and then he got younger as he grew older. But she's also a really cool character because, she was totally terrified of him, but then she was like, you know what? One of God's children, and God brought him to my doorstep, so I'm going to take care of him. And she was just, a really, really awesome mother to Benjamin Button throughout the entire movie. And it was really, really cool to see their relationship and how she helped raise him as he grew up, or I guess grew down? I don't know, but it was really pretty awesome. I also have to give a shout out to Mammy from Gone with the Wind. I mean, Scarlett O'Hara's actual mom is really, really awesome too, but you have to admit, Mammy is really the big mother figure in Gone with the Wind in the book and the movie, and she's awesome. To put up with all of Scarlett O'Hara's crap, Mammy's always there, telling her what's what, but also supporting her and taking care of her and helping her, and then helping Scarlett to raise her own babies. And she's pretty cool, and putting with all that stuff during the Civil War, you really have to give Mammy give her props, because she's a pretty freaking fantastic mother figure. But I also really appreciate the mom from The Fault in Our Stars. I think it's because it kind of reminds me of a relationship with my own mother, and I think, the relationship between a mother and her kid who has a disability or a sickness or something is really, really unique. It's a very different type of relationship because, their entire life is basically taking care of every mother's life is taking care of their kid, but it's, a whole other level because it's, you're always going to the hospital and doctor's offices and therapy sessions and appointments, and it's so, so stressful, and, it just kind of creates this really unique bond that the parent and the child have between each other. Because the kid sees, especially as they get older, as a kid, you're just oh, that's just what moms do. But when you get older, as Hazel Grace kind of starts to see in this book, and then even as you become an adult, you kind of see holy crap, my mom had to go through so much stuff. Me, I know me personally, I must have not been an easy child to take care of for my mom and dad. And so I really appreciated this book and how John Green did a really good job of showing how much the parents do for their kid and the relationship you have, because especially when you're out of school so often and you're in the hospital with them so often, your parents are the ones that you spend so much time with, and he did such an awesome job of portraying that relationship, and I really, really liked that about this book. I also have to say Marmee from Little Women. I know I talked about Little Women with siblings, but Marmee is such a great mom. She supports those 4 girls no matter what they do, through all of their mistakes and their relationship choices and their goals and their dreams, and she's so supportive. And especially for this time period, she was very feminist and very I want my girls to be able to do what they want whether they're women or whether they're men. They should do what they want to do. And she also does a really great job of like helping them to want to improve themselves, not just being like, oh, my daughters are perfect and they do everything perfectly. Like, no, she realizes like, okay, they have shortcomings, but instead of being like, you did something wrong, she's like, okay, how can we make better choices moving on from this? And then she supports her girls, like, when bad things happen. Like, she will do whatever she can to help make it right because she just loves them so much. And then also helping them get through the Civil War when their dad is gone. And so, Mommy's a pretty fantastic mother. And then finally, I have Lorelai from Gilmore Girls. I mean, like, she's kind of a mess. And just like, yeah, she's kind of a mess and doesn't always make the greatest choices in the world, but you have to admit, she did a really good job with Rory, all things considering, with, you know, leaving her mother's house and raising Rory on her own as a teenager and deciding to walk away from this life that could have been really easy for her because, yeah, she totally could have, like, stayed with her parents and had this really easy, privileged life with Rory, but she didn't want that, and it was, like, really cool to see that, and so I think, all things considered, Lorelai is a pretty awesome mom. So those are my favorite fictional mothers. I'm sure there's more, but that's all I have today. I'm excited to see what all of you think about moms, and happy Mother's Day to all of you who are celebrating today. Whether you are a mother, happy Mother's Day. If you are a kid, which we're all kids of some mother somewhere, I hope you spoil your mom tomorrow. We are making breakfast for my mom, and we got a couple goodies for her, so it'll be fun. And I love your faces, and I'll see you later.